What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome to the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Put that bell notification on all as usual. So let's get into this one. So we've got a bit of breaking news, and this breaking news, to be honest, is kind of disjointed in a way because a couple of days ago I heard a bit of news about from various outlets and stuff, and YouTube, other places, that Anthony Yarde is now a free agent. That was, the talk that he's now a free agent. So no longer with Queensbury permanently, and he's been with Queensbury a long time. He's been with them ever since his professional debut. And from what I saw, they had a good relationship, him and Frank Warren and Tunde Ajayi, and things were going swimmingly. It looked like things were going very well. Got a couple of world title opportunities, unsuccessful, but the relationship seemed to be pretty strong. Um, the only time that I've heard anything to the contrary of this is very recently when we've been talking about this Joshua Buatsi fight because they both turned up to each other's respective platforms. Anthony Yarde came on Sky Sports platform to talk about fighting Joshua Buatsi. Joshua Buatsi was ringside and came and step two, joined respectfully, sort of joined Anthony Yarde after Anthony Yarde's latest victory. So all systems were seeming to be on go. Like both guys seem to be interested in the fight. But yeah, lately we've been hearing about this free agent thing, and uh, where the sources that we're getting it from really is the horse's mouth. So Anthony Yarde himself, because Anthony Yarde, I think it was an Instagram post, he posted and said, yeah, it was a response to Joshua Buatsi because Joshua Buatsi said to him, "We've got a venue, I've agreed my side. What is the hold up? We got a venue, we got date, stadium, all this sort of stuff. So the hold up is on your side." So he's sort of asking Anthony Yarde what's happening in a message, social media, which, from my understanding, Joshua Buatsi is not really like an outspoken guy on social media that's on there every day, going back and forth with people. He seems to be quite a serious guy. So when he says something, normally means it. Normally means it's something significant. So you had that sort of, one message each. So Buatsi's one is like calling Yard out saying, right, we got the venue, got the stadium, we got the agreement on our side. So what's the hold up? We want to fight. What's going on? I'm working. And then Yard's response was like, well, my contract now with my, I think it was, he said his promotion has now come to an end. So his team is now working on getting him the best possible deal. Once that happens, once he's happy and he's sorted out all that he needs to sort out, the fight should be able to happen. So from those two messages, it seemed like it was a simple thing where, Buatsi is sort of, as Frank Warren said in the past, he's done his part. His promoter's happy with the fight. Everything, all systems go, and the hold up is somewhere on Yard's team. And Yard's response was, yeah, it's clear, but at the same time, to me, when I'm hearing it, is it's kind of like it sounds like not as enthusiastic as Joshua Buatsi. Let's just put it that way. But then to further add to this thing, I believe it was yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. I saw an interview with Frank Warren on the Box Nation YouTube channel, and Box Nation has I don't know when he started working there, but you got Umar, formerly Umar IFL Umar, now he's Umar Box Nation Umar. Umar was interviewing Frank Warren, and in Frank Warren's interview, he obviously asked him the important question about Anthony Yarde, and Frank Warren was saying, "Well, I hope we can make the fight." He was basically pointing to the hold up at being, as Joshua Buatsi said, on Anthony Yarde's side. and Frank Warren was complimentary of Joshua Buatsi, saying that what he brings to the table is that he's ahead of Anthony Yarde. He's at the top in a lot of these governing bodies. So that's what he brings, number one ranking. In some of them, I think he mentioned the WBO and WBA, if I'm not mistaken. So he mentioned Buatsi's ranking. He said Buatsi has signed his side of the deal. We're still waiting for Anthony Yarde. And Umar was asking him, well, have you spoken to Anthony Yarde? He said he hasn't spoken to Anthony Yarde in a little while. He said he's spoken to Anthony Yarde's lawyer. He said he hasn't spoken to Tunde Ajayi. So there's some sort of fog there. But then what put kind of a spanner in this free agent talk was when Frank Warren said in that interview that, as far as he's concerned, Anthony Yarde's contract has not expired. So, contrary to what Anthony Yarde said on his social media post, that, well, my contract has now come to an end, pointing to him, basically saying he's like a free agent and he's working out some other deal now. Frank Warren contradicted that information and said, well, that's not what I know. And, according to the paperwork we've got, according to our contract, your time is not up. You've still got more time to serve with us. You've still got more time that you need to be with us. So basically, he just put a big dampener on this whole idea of Anthony Yarde being a free agent. And Frank Warren, he did talk a little bit about his history of fighters who haven't worked with him and they've gone away from him and then regretted it and wanted to come back. So pointing to his reputation there, and as some of you will know, Frank Warren has been in several court cases with several different fighters. I think Ricky Hatton, Joe Kawasaki, to name a few. I think Prince Nazim Hamid as well. So he's had a few court proceedings with different guys that he's promoted, and they've split on, gone away on bad terms. So yeah, I think it's an interesting situation. I think Frank Warren I think Frank Warren does know his stuff. So I think there's definitely a chance here that Anthony Yarde might be mistaken about his contract having come to an end. I think this is probably going to might even be a similar situation to the difficulties that Lawrence Okoli and Eddie Hearn had when they had their disagreement about whether Lawrence Okoli owes another fight or whatnot. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how things go, from now on. I think for my money, going by how Frank Warren is as a person, Frank Warren is a guy that, he dots his I's and crosses his T's. So I think at this juncture, this might even delay Anthony Yarde's career. If he doesn't work with Frank Warren at this point, I think this is gonna probably, it could even turn into some sort of legal proceedings or some sort of legal battle here, because there's definitely, going by what Anthony Yarde's saying compared to what Frank Warren's saying, there's definitely a contradiction there. One guy, Anthony Yarde, believes he's out of his contract, he's seen it out. The other guy, who is the promoter, who would have, drafted the contract, he says otherwise. So I think at the very least, this is going to cause some sort of disruption, some sort of delay in Anthony Yarde's career. And for me, I think this is kind of the last thing that Anthony Yarde needs. I think he needs to be, he's in his 30s now, so he needs to be fighting. He needs activity in order to get the best. These are kind of his prime years now, so he needs to be fighting and he needs that activity. So yeah, let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section below. Frank Warren, well, first of all, Anthony Yarde claiming his contract is up. He's now sort of a free agent. He's working out another deal. think about, let me know what you think about that compared to what Frank Warren said, which is that no, you're not out of contract. You still have, you still, I guess, owe me fights and stuff like that. So you got two contradicting statements there. Frank Warren says he's not out of contract. Anthony Yarde says he is. So let me know your thoughts. And until next time, this is MKO Pugilism over and out.